A friend of mine went to spend some time with the leader of a church planting network, one that baptized over 1 million people in a single year. And he visited a few of their house churches, and each one, he did the same thing. He'd grab one of the kids, the children in the room, and he'd ask them a question: What has God called us to do? And in church after church, the kids told him not a vague answer. They walked him exactly through start to finish how to do Luke 10. And that's the goal. Not just your best leaders knowing the pathway, everyone from the kids to the elderly able to explain it start to finish in one breath. So the question I started to ask was, what does this pathway actually look like, stripped down to what anyone could carry in their head and hand to someone else? This is what I call the worker maker framework. Now, basically, this is what God has called us to do. So again, this comes out of Luke chapter 10. The first thing that needs to happen is God says the harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. Ask the Lord of the harvest to raise up workers for the harvest field. So the first thing is we need to hear God saying to us, hey, I need you to go and find a worker. So we go, and the first thing we do is we begin to sow the gospel seed generously. We begin to throw seeds all over. And as we preach, whenever people respond, there's going to be 4 different responses. We call this the 4 soils. So the red guys, they say no to the gospel. The yellow guys, they say yes, they want to follow God, but when you ask them the question, who in your family or friend needs to hear this? They don't produce fruit because of 2 things, either because of pressure, where they're like, oh no, people aren't going to like that, my family's not going to want to hear this, or priorities. It's like, yeah, they should hear this, but we could probably do it another time. I got some other stuff I'm doing right now, right? So those are the first 3 responses. The 4th response is the 4 soil person. It's the God-prepared person in this area who's going to go and take the message. They say, who in your family or friends need to hear this? They say, oh man, my friends need to hear this. Let's go right now. So this is a beginning of letting you know you found a person in peace. So now your job begins training and sending the 4 soil person of peace to go out and reach their network. So in this, your role changes from being the preacher, the one who's preaching the gospel, to now you're becoming the trainer and the sender. And in this section right here, this is when you start giving people tools, you start teaching people and sending them. Now, if you see in the graphic, this little black guy, he's not even there anymore, right? The green guy goes into his network and he begins to share the gospel. And this is how you know when you've actually found a worker, because you don't know if you found a worker until you actually send them to go and do some work. So you've modeled it here. You've started to encourage them, and now you send them. And then same thing, they're going to have 3 responses to the gospel. 4 responses to the gospel. No. There's yellow guys that are like, yeah, I want to follow Jesus. I can't go tell my friends or family about him. So as they begin to gather their network, out of that network, someone else is going to become like they were back here and say, man, my friends and family, the people in my sphere need this. And they hear God say, hey, go find a worker, and then it multiplies, right? So a great example of this in action is when Jesus decides he's going to go across the lake to go and minister to what we call the gathering demoniac. So Jesus hears from the Father, it's time to go to the other side of the lake. So he gathers the guys, they get on the boat, they start to head over to the other side of the lake. And when they get there, there's this naked, crazy guy who's full of demons. He runs at him. Jesus sets him free of his demons. In the very next instant, he is clothed and in his right mind. And he asks Jesus, hey, Jesus, can I join your crew and come with you? And Jesus says, no, I need you to go tell your people everything I did for you. So you see, right then, Jesus finds his God-prepared person in this area called the Decapolis. And he says, look, I need you to go to your people. And so this guy goes with one message. His only message was, I was a naked, crazy guy. Jesus set me free from my demons, and now he told me to come tell you how good he is. This is his testimony. And so he goes, and the next time Jesus comes to the Decapolis, people run from all over to come and meet him because of what this guy did in gathering and sharing in his own network, right? So this is our pathway. Another way we've looked at this is we've called it the four fields, right? First is you got to figure out where you're supposed to go. That's first field. Second field is you're going to preach. You need to plant seeds if you want to have a harvest. Third field is once the plants start to grow, you need to grow them and so they become healthy followers of Jesus. This discipleship field. And then the fourth field is you're gathering groups and multiplying church. Right in the center of all of it, you're multiplying leaders and sending out more workers. So this is our discipleship pathway, the worker maker framework. So I'm wondering, do you see this happening in and through your own life? And how do you think we can see this actually happening in the lives of everyone around us?